Madison hurries through the marble lobby of Reynolds Industries, her heels clicking against the polished floor. She adjusts her waitress uniform under her coat, hoping no one notices. The security guard, Pete, gives her a kind smile as she heads to the private elevator. He's used to her late-night visits to see James Reynolds, though his eyes always hold a hint of concern. The elevator opens directly into James's penthouse office. He stands at the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan's lights twinkling behind him. Without turning, he takes a sip from his whiskey glass. "You're late." "I'm sorry, we were short-staffed at the diner. I couldn't just leave?" James turns, his steel blue eyes softening slightly at the sight of her. At 38, he carries himself with the confidence of someone who's never heard the word no. "You could if you were working somewhere better." "Somewhere I got you." Madison tucks a strand of auburn hair behind her ear, a nervous habit. "We've talked about this. I want to make it on my own terms." James crosses the room, setting down his glass. His fingers brush her cheek. "Stubborn as always. It's why I fell for you." He kisses her, but pulls back with a frown. "You smell like coffee and grease." "That's what happens when you work at a diner," Madison says, trying to keep her tone light. But there's an edge to it, the same edge that's been creeping into their conversations more often lately. "You're better than that place. Better than serving truckers their midnight coffee." He returns to his desk, pulling out a small velvet box. "I got you something." Madison's heart skips. "James. Just open it." Inside is a delicate diamond bracelet that probably costs more than she makes in a year. It's beautiful, but nothing. "You're mine, Madison. I want people to see that." He fastens it around her wrist, his touch possessive. Madison stares at the glittering diamonds, remembering her mother's words, "Some cages are made of gold, baby girl." She pushes the thought away. "Thank you." James's phone buzzes. He glances at it, his jaw tightening. "I have to take this. Business never sleeps." He kisses her forehead. "Stay the night?" Madison nods, but as James steps onto the balcony for his call, she finds herself looking at her reflection in the window. The diamonds sparkle, but the girl wearing them looks like a stranger. 3 weeks later, Madison sits at her regular booth in Ruby's diner, counting tips after her shift. Her coworker Denise slides in across from her, pushing a fresh cup of coffee forward. "Another late night with Mr. Moneybags?" Denise asks, eyeing the diamond bracelet that Madison hasn't taken off since James gave it to her. "Don't call him that." Madison stacks another handful of ones. "He's different than you think." "Different like that shiner Janet had when her ex was different?" Madison's head snaps up. "James would never. He's just protective." "Protective like having his driver follow you to work?" Denise nods toward the black SUV poorly hidden across the street. Madison gathers her tips quickly, shoving them into her purse. "You don't understand. He loves me." "Love doesn't keep tabs, honey." Madison heads for the back door, but Denise calls after her. "Your mama raised you smarter than this." Outside, Madison leans against the brick wall, her breath visible in the cold night air. She pulls out her phone, 3 missed calls from James. As she goes to call back, a text comes through, "Dinner tomorrow. 8 p.m. Wear the blue dress I bought you." Her fingers hover over the keyboard. For the first time, she types "I can't," but deletes it immediately. Instead, she responds, "I'll be there." The SUV's engine starts across the street. Madison walks faster, pulling her coat tight. At the corner, she catches her reflection in a storefront window. The diamonds wink at her wrist, but instead of beautiful, they suddenly feel heavy. Like a countdown to something she can't quite name. Her phone buzzes again. This time it's her mother. "Baby girl, just checking in. Haven't heard from you in a while. Getting worried." Madison stares at the message, remembering Sunday dinners, her mother's laugh, the way she taught Madison to stand tall even when life tried to shrink her. When did those dinners stop? When did James's schedule become the only schedule that mattered? She turns the corner toward her apartment, the SUV maintaining its distance. Her phone buzzes one more time. James again. Sweet dreams, beautiful. Dream of me. Madison slips her phone back into her pocket without responding. In her tiny studio apartment, she stands before her mirror, studying the blue dress hanging on her closet door. James's voice echoes in her head, "You're mine, Madison." She touches the bracelet, then looks at her mother's text again. For the first time, she wonders if there's a difference between being loved and being owned, and which one she's chosen. The private dining room at La Maison sparkles with candlelight. Madison sits across from James, wearing the blue dress as instructed. She pushes her untouched foie gras around the plate while James talks business on his phone. "No, tell Thompson the deal closes tomorrow or we walk." James ends the call, his attention shifting to Madison. "You've barely touched your food. And you're quiet tonight." "I've been thinking." Madison's fingers find the bracelet. "Maybe I should go back to school. Finish my degree." James's expression darkens. "We discussed this. You don't need to work or study. I take care of everything." "That's just it. I want to take care of myself. Like my mom." "Your mother?" James scoffs. "The woman who works 2 jobs and lives in a walk-up in Queens? Is that what you want?" "She's happy. Independent. She's poor." James signals the waiter for more wine. "I give you everything, and you want to be like her?" Madison's phone buzzes. James reaches for it before she can. His face transforms as he reads the screen. "Who's Brandon?" His voice is deadly quiet. "My regular customer at the diner. He's just being friendly." James turns the phone toward her. The text reads, "Thanks for the coffee and conversation today. You make the late shifts bearable. Dinner sometime? Friendly." James's knuckles whiten around the phone. "Is that what you do while I'm working? Make friends with every man who walks into that dump?" "James, please. Have you been sleeping with him?" Madison recoils. "What? No. I would never." James stands abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. "I give you everything. A life most women would kill for. And this is how you repay me? You're not listening. Nothing happened. I'm not listening." He laughs, but there's no warmth in it. "I've been a fool. Thinking you were different. Special." He throws her phone onto the table. "Get out. James. Get out." His voice carries across the restaurant. Other diners turn to stare. Madison grabs her purse with trembling hands. As she stands, James grabs her wrist, the one with the bracelet. "Leave it." His fingers work the clasp. The bracelet falls to the table with a cold clink. Madison runs from the restaurant, tears blurring her vision. Outside, rain has started to fall. She looks back once at the golden windows of La Maison, then kicks off her heels. The pavement is cold under her bare feet as she runs, the blue dress growing darker with rain. 3 blocks away, she finally stops, ducking under an awning. Her phone is dead. James must have turned it off. She has no money for a cab. Her mother's warning echoes again, "Some cages are made of gold, baby girl." Madison looks down at her wrist. The skin where the bracelet sat feels naked, but somehow lighter. She starts walking toward Queens, toward home, toward her mother. Each step takes her further from James's golden cage, but closer to something else. Something that feels terrifyingly like freedom. Dawn breaks over Queens as Madison sits at her mother's kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of tea. Her mother, Patricia, stands at the stove making pancakes, comfort food from Madison's childhood. 2 weeks of radio silence, then you show up at midnight in a soaked designer dress. Patricia slides a plate in front of Madison. "Start talking." "It's over, Mom." Madison's voice cracks. James, the fancy apartment, all of it. Good. Patricia sits down. That man was turning you into a doll. All dressed up with nowhere to really go. Madison pushes away her untouched pancakes, fighting a wave of nausea. I feel so stupid. Hey, look at me. Patricia takes her daughter's hands. You got out. That's not stupid. That's brave. Madison runs to the bathroom suddenly, retching. When she returns, Patricia's expression has shifted from concern to understanding. How late are you? Madison freezes. What? Baby girl, I had you at 23. I know morning sickness when I see it. Madison sinks into her chair, the room spinning. No. No, no, no. Have you taken a test? Madison shakes her head. I can't be. We were careful. I'm just stressed. Patricia grabs her keys. Only one way to find out. At the corner drugstore, Madison stares at 3 positive pregnancy tests lined up on the bathroom counter. Patricia holds her as she cries. He can never know, Madison whispers. Madison. No, Mom. You didn't see his face that night. How quickly love turned to hate. He'd either try to control everything or refuse to believe it's his. She straightens up, wiping her eyes. I won't let my child be a weapon or a bargaining chip. Children, says the doctor 2 weeks later, pointing to the ultrasound screen. Twins. Madison laughs through her tears. Of course. The universe has a sense of humor after all. That night, she packs her bags while Patricia makes calls. Her mother's cousin in Portland has a spare room, a quiet neighborhood, good schools nearby. Running away won't solve everything, Patricia warns. I'm not running away. Madison rests her hand on her still flat stomach. I'm running toward something. A fresh start. A life without golden cages. She looks at her reflection in the window. The woman staring back isn't the same one who used to ride up to that penthouse office every night. This woman's eyes hold something new, fear, yes, but determination too. As she falls asleep on her mother's couch, Madison dreams of James's face when he sees her next. But in the dream, she's strong. Standing tall. And she's not alone. Portland greets Madison with rain, not the harsh downpour of that night in Manhattan, but a gentle mist that makes everything look softer. She stands in her new bedroom at Cousin Rachel's house, unpacking the few things she brought from her old life. The community college called back, Rachel says from the doorway. They've got an opening in their business program for next semester. Madison turns, one hand absently rubbing her growing belly. I can't afford. You can with financial aid. And I've got someone who needs a bookkeeper at their coffee shop. Rachel smiles. Not a diner in sight. 3 months later, Madison balances spreadsheets at the daily grind, her accounting textbook open beside her. Owner Beth drops a herbal tea on her desk. You're the best thing that's happened to this place, Beth says. Who knew we were hemorrhaging money on oat milk? Numbers don't lie. Madison winces as one of the twins kicks. Unlike people. Speaking of people. Beth hesitates. That cute regular, Nathan, asked about you again. I'm not exactly prime dating material right now. Madison gestures to her prominent bump. He's a pediatric nurse. Pretty sure he's cool with kids. Madison shakes her head. I'm not ready. Maybe never will be. That night, Madison sorts through baby name books. A notification pops up on her laptop, a business news article about James Reynolds acquiring another company. His face stares out from the screen, 5 months older but unchanged. She slams the laptop shut. Your daddy's still out there, she whispers to her bump. Getting richer, building higher walls. But we're building something too. In her weekly video calls with Patricia, Madison shows off her growing belly and her growing confidence. She talks about her classes, her job, the nursery she's painting pale yellow. You sound different, Patricia observes. Stronger. I am. Madison holds up her accounting midterm, a perfect score. No more golden cages. Just golden opportunities. At her 6-month checkup, the ultrasound tech smiles. Still want to know the genders? Madison nods, tears forming as she learns she's having a boy and a girl. That night, she writes 2 names in her journal, Oliver and Emma. Not family names. Not names with history. New names for her new life. Later, she stands at her window, watching Portland's lights twinkle. So different from Manhattan's glare. A letter sits on her desk, a job offer from a local accounting firm, contingent on finishing her degree. On her nightstand, a framed ultrasound photo shows 2 distinct profiles. We're going to make it, she tells her unborn children. And we're going to do it our way. 3 years have passed. Madison's apartment is alive with morning chaos, Cheerios scattered across the kitchen floor, tiny shoes to find, twin toddlers to wrangle. Emma, baby, please eat your breakfast. Madison tries to brush Oliver's unruly dark hair, James's hair, while Emma builds a fortress out of cereal. Both children have their father's steel blue eyes, a daily reminder of what she left behind. No breakfast. Emma declares, her mother's stubbornness shining through. Want numbers like mommy? Madison glances at her accounting books spread across the dining table. At 3, Emma already tries to mimic her mother's work, scribbling in notebooks while Oliver builds towers with blocks, towers that keep getting higher, just like his father's. Beth from the Daily Grind texts, board meeting today. You ready? Madison looks at her reflection in the hallway mirror, straightening her blazer. The scared girl who ran from New York is gone, replaced by a woman who just made junior partner at her firm. Who raised twins alone. Who built a life from scratch. At daycare drop-off, Nathan waves from the nurse's station. After 3 years of gentle persistence, they've built a friendship, though he's never pushed for more. Big day, he asks, helping corral the twins. Presenting the quarterly reports. Madison kisses Oliver and Emma goodbye. Wish me luck. You don't need it. You're the most capable person I know. His words follow her to the office, where she nails the presentation. Her boss pulls her aside afterward. The New York office is impressed. They want you to consult on some major accounts. Madison's heart stops. New York? Just quarterly visits. Great opportunity. Reynolds Industries is one of the accounts. The room spins. Madison steadies herself against the wall. I can't. Madison, you're our rising star. This could fast-track you to senior partner. That night, after the twins are asleep, Madison video calls Patricia. Maybe it's time, her mother says. Those babies deserve to know their father. And what if he tries to take them? He has the money, the lawyers. And you have proof of everything. The texts, the surveillance, why you left. Plus 3 years of being an amazing mother while building a career. No judge would separate them from you. Madison watches her sleeping children on the baby monitor. Emma clutches her toy calculator, Oliver surrounded by his blocks. They're getting bigger, asking questions. Yesterday, Oliver pointed to a man in a suit. Daddy? It gutted her. Her laptop pings, an email about the New York opportunity. The universe pushing her toward a confrontation she's avoided for 3 years. I'm scared, Mom. Baby girl, you've been scared before. Didn't stop you then. Shouldn't stop you now. Madison opens her journal, the one she's kept since the twins were born. Every milestone, every memory, documented for the day she knew would come. The day she'd have to face James again. She types her response, I accept the New York position. Madison packs her suitcase while Rachel helps the twins build a blanket fort in the living room. Oliver peeks out, clutching his favorite stuffed elephant. How many sleeps till you come back, Mommy? Just 3, baby. Madison zips her laptop into its case. And Auntie Rachel will be here the whole time. Emma emerges from the fort, face serious. Promise you won't get lost? The question hits Madison hard. They've never been separated for more than a day. She sits on the floor, gathering both children into her arms. They smell of apple shampoo and innocence. I will always come back to you. Always. Later, Rachel helps her finish packing. You've got copies of everything? Madison pats her laptop bag. Birth certificates, medical records, my journals, photos, everything that proves I've been their mother for 3 years while he was. She trails off. Being exactly who you knew he was, Rachel finishes. Have you told Beth you might not be coming back to Portland? Madison stares out the window. If things go wrong in New York, if he finds out about them, we might need to disappear again. Somewhere further this time. Or things could go right. Rachel squeezes her shoulder. You're not that scared girl anymore. At bedtime, Madison reads the twins their favorite story. Oliver drifts off quickly, but Emma clings to consciousness. Mommy? What's New York? Madison's breath catches. It's a big city where Mommy used to live. Before you were born. Did you have a blanket fort there too? No, baby. I had a fancy apartment with big windows. But you know what? She kisses Emma's forehead. I like blanket forts much better. After they're asleep, Madison makes one last video call to Patricia. Nathan's taking the kids to the park tomorrow, her mother says. He really is good with them. Mom, don't start. I'm just saying, he's nothing like James. Maybe after all this is settled. Nothing will be settled, Madison interrupts. Even best case scenario, James will be in our lives forever once he knows. And Nathan, he deserves someone without all this baggage. You deserve to be happy too, baby girl. Madison looks at her sleeping children on the monitor. I am happy. They're all I need. The next morning, Madison boards her flight to New York. In her purse, a small photo of the twins at their 3rd birthday party. In her mind, every possible scenario of how this could play out. In her heart, the truth she's carried for 3 years. James Reynolds has 2 children he doesn't know about, and in less than 24 hours, she'll be walking back into his world. Her phone buzzes, a text from her boss, car will pick you up at 9 a.m. First meeting at Reynolds Industries at 10. Madison turns off her phone, closing her eyes as the plane takes off. Below, Portland disappears into clouds, taking with it the safety of anonymity. Ahead lies Manhattan, James, and a confrontation 3 years in the making. Manhattan's skyline pierces the morning fog as Madison's taxi crosses the bridge. She's forgotten how the city feels, its pulse, its pressure, its promises. Her phone lights up with a FaceTime call from Rachel. Mommy. The twins crowd the screen, faces smushed together. We made pancakes. With blueberries, Oliver adds proudly. And I didn't spill. Emma declares, though the purple stain on her shirt suggests otherwise. Madison blinks back tears. That's wonderful, babies. Be good for Auntie Rachel, okay? The taxi pulls up to her hotel, not the luxury high-rise where she once lived, but a modest business hotel. In her room, Madison changes into her power suit, the one she bought specifically for this trip. Her hands shake as she fastens her necklace, a small gold pendant with O and E engraved on it. Her phone rings, Patricia. Just checking in. I'm okay. Madison watches people rush by on the street below. It's strange. Everything looks the same, but feels different. Because you're different. Madison's new boss, Catherine, meets her in the hotel lobby. Ready to make history? History? Reynolds Industries hasn't taken outside consultation in 15 years. You're about to change that. The familiar black SUVs line the street outside Reynolds Industries. Madison's heart pounds as they approach the building. Pete isn't at the security desk anymore, a young guard hands them visitor badges without looking up. In the elevator, Catherine reviews her notes. We're meeting with the CFO first, then. James Reynolds himself, a voice finishes. The elevator doors have opened to reveal Diane, James's longtime assistant. She hasn't aged a day. Diane's eyes widen with recognition, but Madison speaks first. Thank you for having us. I'm Madison Chen from Portland Operations. A flicker of understanding crosses Diane's face, Madison's silent plea to keep her secret, just for now. Diane's slight nod is almost imperceptible. The CFO is ready for you in the third-floor conference room. Relief floods Madison. The penthouse office can wait. As they follow Diane, Madison glimpses James's new corporate photo on the wall. His hair has traces of gray now, but his eyes are the same steel blue their children inherited. Her phone vibrates. A text from Rachel, twins want to say goodnight later. Oliver built a tower of blocks as tall as New York. Emma says her calculator misses you. Madison touches her necklace, drawing strength from the engraved initials. Somewhere above her, James Reynolds is going about his day, unaware that his world is about to change forever. Catherine touches her arm. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. Not yet, Madison whispers. But I'm about to. The CFO's presentation drags on, but Madison barely hears it. Her attention keeps drifting to the ceiling, knowing James is somewhere above. Her phone buzzes silently, another text from Rachel, Oliver has a fever. Don't worry, Nathan's checking on him. Doctor says it's just a cold. Catherine nudges her as everyone stands. Ready for the big meeting? The elevator ride to the penthouse feels longer than 3 years. When the doors open, Madison's hit with memories, the smell of his cologne, late-night conversations, the last terrible night. Diane leads them into the conference room. Mr. Reynolds will join you shortly. Madison's fingers find her necklace, tracing the O&E. Her laptop screen shows a new email from Nathan, Oliver's fever's down. He's asking for Elephant and you. Emma's reading him stories. The door opens. James stops mid-stride, his expression frozen. For a moment, they're the only two people in the room. Madison. Hello, James. Catherine looks between them, confused. You two know each other? We used to, James says, his voice tight. He hasn't taken his eyes off Madison. A lifetime ago. The meeting starts. Madison forces herself to focus, to be professional. She presents her analysis with steady hands, though her heart pounds. James asks sharp questions, his tone cold. Your Portland division's growth is impressive, he says finally. Though some might call your methods unconventional. Sometimes unconventional works better than traditional approaches. Madison meets his gaze. Sometimes walking away from the expected path is exactly right. His jaw tightens at her words. The meeting ends. People file out, but James's voice cuts through. Miss Chen, a word? Catherine hesitates, but Madison nods. I'll catch up. The door closes. They're alone. 3 years. James stands at his window, back to her. Not a word. You disappeared. I had my reasons. He turns, anger flashing. Reasons? I gave you everything. You gave me things, James. Golden handcuffs disguised as gifts. Because I loved you. He slams his hand on the desk. And you betrayed me. I never. Madison's phone rings. Rachel's name flashes on screen. Still making friends with everyone but me? James sneers. Madison silences the phone. You haven't changed at all, have you? Still so sure you own everyone you love. Why are you here, Madison? Really? She reaches for her necklace again. James catches the movement, his eyes fixing on the engraved initials. O&E? His voice is dangerous. New lovers? Madison's laugh is hollow. You still think everything's about betrayal. Rachel calls again. This time, Madison glimpses the text preview, Oliver's fever 103. Hospital. Her face drains of color. James notices. What's wrong? I have to go. Madison grabs her things. Running away again? My son is sick. The words escape before she can stop them. James goes very still. Son? Madison's already at the door. I have to go. Madison. His voice stops her. What aren't you telling me? She turns back one last time, seeing the father of her children, really seeing him, for the first time in 3 years. Everything, she whispers, and runs. Madison bursts into the emergency room, still in her business suit. Rachel holds Emma, who's clutching her toy calculator like a lifeline. Nathan stands nearby in his scrubs. He flew in on the first flight he could get. Where is he? Room 204, Nathan guides her. They're running tests. Oliver lies small in the hospital bed, his dark hair damp with sweat. His elephant tucked under one arm, for in the other. Madison's heart breaks. He looks so much like James right now, even in sleep. Mommy? Emma's voice quivers. Is Ollie broken? No, baby. The doctors are fixing him. Madison kisses her daughter's forehead, then rushes to Oliver's side. Across town, James paces his penthouse office. Find everything on Madison Chen from Portland. Now. Diane hesitates. Sir? She vanished 3 years ago and suddenly reappears with a son? He stops pacing. The timing, Diane. Do the math. Maybe you should let it go. Like hell I will. He grabs his coat. What hospital? James. You saw her face when she got that call. Which hospital? Back in the hospital room, doctors diagnose Oliver with severe pneumonia. Madison holds his hand through another coughing fit. Temperature's still high. Nathan checks the monitors. But the antibiotics should start working soon. Rachel takes Emma to the cafeteria. Madison slumps in the hospital chair, exhausted. Nathan brings her coffee. You don't have to stay, she tells him. You've done so much already. Those kids are family to me too. He pauses. Did you tell him? He knows something's wrong. The way he looked at me. Madison's phone buzzes, Catherine asking where she disappeared to. Another message follows. James has canceled all meetings for the day. Oliver stirs. Mommy? My elephant. Right here, baby. She tucks it closer. Tell me about the towers again? Madison swallows hard. Which towers, sweetheart? The ones in your old city. The big ones that touch the sky. Those are in New York, where I am now. She strokes his hair. Maybe someday. A commotion erupts in the hallway. Madison hears a familiar voice. I'm James Reynolds. I need information about a patient, a young boy brought in today. Madison's blood runs cold. Nathan sees her panic. I'll handle this. He heads for the door. Nathan, wait. But he's already gone. Through the door's window, Madison watches Nathan confront James. Sir, unless you're family. I think I'm that boy's father. Nathan's face hardens. Mr. Reynolds, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Like hell. Hospital security is very good at their job. Please don't make me call them. James's voice carries through the door. Tell Madison this isn't over. Oliver coughs again. Madison holds him close, breathing in his scent, feeling his little heart race. Mommy, he whispers. Who is that man? Madison looks at her son, at James's eyes and his tiny face, at the determined set of his jaw that mirrors his father's. Someone from my old life, baby. Someone who used to build towers too. In the hallway, Rachel returns with Emma, passing James as he's leaving. Emma's calculator slips from her hands, clattering at his feet. He bends to pick it up, freezes as he sees her face, sees his own eyes looking back at him. Rachel hurries Emma away, but it's too late. James stands rooted, the calculator in his hand, 3 years of questions suddenly finding their answer. The hospital corridor stretches before James like an endless tunnel, Emma's face burned into his memory. His hands shake as he clutches her calculator, his mind racing through possibilities that all lead to one devastating conclusion. He pulls out his phone, fingers hovering over the keypad before dialing a number he never deleted. "Get me everything," he barks into the phone. "Birth certificates, medical records, school registrations. Everything about Madison Chen's children. I want it within the hour." Inside Oliver's room, Madison paces nervously, her heels long discarded under the hospital chair. The beeping of monitors provides a steady rhythm to her racing thoughts. Nathan stands guard at the door while Rachel tries to settle an overtired Emma on the small couch. Oliver's fever has finally broken, his breathing easier with the medications, but Madison knows a different storm is brewing. She can feel it in the air, in the way her phone keeps lighting up with calls from unknown numbers, James's lawyers, no doubt. The night deepens, and Rachel takes Emma to a nearby hotel, promising to return first thing in the morning. Nathan checks Oliver's vitals one last time before his colleague takes over the night shift. "I can stay," he offers, his voice soft with concern, but Madison shakes her head. This is her battle to face. As the door closes behind him, she sinks into the chair beside Oliver's bed, running her fingers through his dark hair, so like his father's. Her son stirs, blue eyes fluttering open. "The tower man," he mumbles sleepily, "he looks sad, Mommy." The words pierce Madison's heart. Before she can respond, her phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number, "Lobby. Now. We need to talk." She knows without checking that it's James. For a moment, she considers ignoring it, but the following message makes her blood run cold. "They're mine, aren't they? Don't make me find out through lawyers, Madison." Kissing Oliver's forehead, Madison asks the night nurse to watch him for a few minutes. The elevator ride to the lobby feels like descending into her past. The doors open to reveal James standing by the window, his silhouette sharp against the city lights. He turns as she approaches, and the look on his face stops her in her tracks. It's not anger she sees, it's devastation. 3 years, he says, his voice raw. 3 years of my children's lives. Gone. He holds up Emma's calculator, and Madison's heart clenches. She looks just like my sister at that age. And the boy. He swallows hard. What's his name? Madison lifts her chin, drawing strength from years of independence. Oliver. And Emma. They're twins. The words hang between them like a physical thing. James braces himself against the window, his reflection showing a man being unmade and remade in an instant. Oliver and Emma, he repeats, testing the names of his children on his tongue for the first time. Why? The question explodes from him, echoing in the empty lobby. Why didn't you tell me? What gave you the right to keep this from me? You want to talk about rights? Madison's voice trembles with years of pent-up emotion. You want to talk about the right to control someone's life? To track their movements? To accuse them of betrayal over a simple text? She steps closer, her voice dropping to a fierce whisper. You are suffocating me, James. Everything was a transaction, a possession. The apartment, the clothes, the bracelet, they weren't gifts, they were chains. And when I found out I was pregnant. She shakes her head. I couldn't let my children be another possession in your collection. James moves with sudden speed, gripping her arms. They're my children. My blood. You had no right. The elevator dings, and Nathan steps out, his face hardening at the scene before him. James releases Madison quickly, but his eyes burn with purpose. I'll have my lawyers contact you in the morning. I want a DNA test, and then we'll discuss custody arrangements. Madison feels the world tilting beneath her feet, but she stands her ground. You can have your DNA test. But understand this, those children have never known a life without me. I've been there for every fever, every nightmare, every milestone. Oliver builds his towers with blocks, not steel and glass. Emma plays with calculators because she sees her mother working hard to provide for her. They're happy, James. They're loved. And if you try to use your money and power to tear them away from me, you'll be destroying the very things that make them who they are. A code blue alarm sounds somewhere above them, and Madison's heart leaps into her throat. Without another word, she runs for the elevator, leaving James standing in the lobby with Emma's calculator still in his hand. As the doors close, she sees him slide down the window to sit on the floor, a broken man finally facing the weight of his choices. Dawn breaks over the hospital room, painting shadows across Oliver's sleeping face. Madison hasn't slept, her laptop open beside her as she forwards emails to her lawyer. The DNA test results sit in a sealed envelope on the bedside table, a formality that only confirms what everyone already knows. In the bathroom mirror, she catches her reflection, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy bun, wearing borrowed scrubs from Nathan after spending the night in the hospital. The woman in the mirror looks nothing like the polished professional who walked into Reynolds Industries yesterday, but she feels stronger. Rachel arrives early with Emma in fresh clothes. The little girl rushes to her brother's bed, calculator clutched in her hand, not the one she dropped, but her spare. Madison wonders if James still has the other one, if he's turning it over in his hands right now, trying to make sense of the life he never knew he had. Emma climbs carefully onto Oliver's bed, showing him how she's learned to type their names and numbers. Oliver manages a weak smile, his fever finally gone but his energy still low. They look so natural together, so complete. Madison's heart aches at the thought of anyone disrupting their small, perfect unit. The door opens, and James enters without knocking. He's wearing the same suit as yesterday, looking like he hasn't slept either. The twins fall silent, instinctively huddling closer together. Emma whispers something to Oliver, and he nods, both pairs of steel blue eyes fixed on the man who gave them to them. James stops short, seeing his children together for the first time. His hands twitch at his sides, as if fighting the urge to reach out and touch them. Instead, he turns to Madison. "My lawyers will be here in an hour. I thought maybe we could talk first. Just us." Rachel starts to protest, but Madison nods. "Nathan's coming to check Oliver's discharge papers. Can you wait with the kids?" She follows James into the hallway, where morning light streams through large windows. For a moment, neither speaks. The city awakens below them, unaware of the lives being reshaped in this hospital corridor. "I was up all night," James finally says, his voice hoarse. "Looking at their birth certificates. School records. Medical history. Everything my investigators could find." He runs a hand through his disheveled hair. Oliver had colic for the first 3 months. Emma broke her arm falling from a swing last year. They both love dinosaurs and hate Brussels sprouts. How do I catch up on 3 years of memories I should have been part of? Madison leans against the wall, suddenly exhausted. "You can't. Those moments are gone, James. But that's not why you're here with lawyers in tow, is it?" Her voice takes on a sharp edge. "You're here to take control, like always. To use your money and power to reshape reality into what you think it should be." James turns to face her, and for the first time, she sees tears in his eyes. "I don't want to take them from you." The words come out broken, unexpected. "I spent all night watching videos from their daycare, their birthday parties. They're happy. Thriving. You've given them everything I..." He stops, swallowing hard. "Everything I probably would have ruined with my need to control everything." Madison stares at him, unsure if she's hearing correctly. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I want to be part of their lives, but not by destroying what you've built." He pulls out Emma's calculator, finally holding it out to Madison. "I want to earn my place in their world. Not buy it, not demand it. Earn it." His voice cracks. "Will you let me try?" Before Madison can respond, Oliver's voice carries from the room, "Mommy?" The tower man is sad again. They turn to see both twins watching through the door's window. Emma waves shyly, and something in James's face crumbles completely. He waves back, a small, uncertain gesture that seems to cost him everything. Madison looks between her children and their father, seeing the invisible threads that connect them despite years of absence. She thinks of all her fears, her preparations for legal battles, her readiness to run again if needed. But maybe, just maybe, there's another way forward. They have a dinosaur exhibition at the museum next weekend, she says quietly. Oliver loves the big skeletal towers. Emma tries to count all the bones. She meets James's gaze. Maybe you'd like to come with us? James's breath catches. Behind them, Emma has convinced Oliver to wave too, their small hands moving in unison. I'd like that, he whispers. I'd like that very much. The Natural History Museum looms before them, its grand architecture a stark contrast to the simple moment unfolding on its steps. Oliver clutches his elephant in one hand and Madison's fingers in the other, while Emma bounces excitedly beside them, her calculator safely tucked in her small backpack. They're waiting for James, and Madison can feel the tension in Oliver's grip. He's still weak from his hospital stay, but he insisted on coming, his love for dinosaurs stronger than his fatigue. The morning sun catches the golden highlights in Emma's hair, her mother's hair, as she chatters about the statistics she's memorized about T-Rexes. James appears at the bottom of the steps, and Madison almost doesn't recognize him. Gone is the power suit and commanding presence. Instead, he wears jeans and a casual button-down, looking more uncertain than she's ever seen him. In his hands, he carries 2 gift bags. Madison starts to frown, some habits die hard, but then she sees what's inside, a dinosaur encyclopedia for Oliver and a children's book about Ada Lovelace, the first computer programmer, for Emma. He's done his homework, learned their interests. It's a small thing, but it speaks volumes. The children regard him with curious caution as Madison makes the introduction. Oliver, Emma, this is James. He's going to join us today. She doesn't use the word father, that title needs to be earned, not declared. James kneels down to their level, offering the gifts with hands that tremble slightly. I heard you're the expert on dinosaur towers, he says to Oliver. Maybe you could teach me about them? Oliver's grip on Madison's hand loosens just a fraction. Emma peers at James over her brother's shoulder, her analytical mind visibly working overtime. Did you build the big towers in Mommy's old pictures? She asks suddenly. James glances at Madison, surprised she's kept photos. I did, he answers softly. But I think your block towers probably have better structural integrity. Inside the museum, Oliver gradually warms up as they enter the dinosaur hall. His natural enthusiasm overtakes his shyness as he explains each skeleton to James, who listens with rapt attention. Madison hangs back slightly, watching as Emma takes out her calculator, apparently trying to determine the mathematical probability of a brachiosaurus fitting into their apartment. The scene feels surreal, her past and present colliding in this cavernous space filled with ancient bones. A museum guide offers to take a photo of them all in front of the T-Rex. The twins automatically flank Madison, but James stands awkwardly to the side until Emma unexpectedly reaches for his hand. You're too far, she states matter-of-factly. The camera can't get good composition like that. The professional photographer in James emerges as he discusses framing with his daughter, while Oliver chimes in about the T-Rex's teeth being out of focus. The guide snaps the picture, their first family photo, though none of them are ready to call it that yet. During lunch in the museum cafe, Oliver's energy begins to flag. Without thinking, James offers his arm as a pillow, and the boy leans against him, clutching his elephant and new book. The weight of his son against him renders James speechless. Emma, perhaps sensing the magnitude of the moment, puts down her calculator and takes out her new book about Ada Lovelace. Can you read it to us? She asks James. Mommy always does voices for the characters. Madison watches as James begins to read, his confident boardroom voice transforming into different characters. Oliver drowses against him while Emma corrects his mathematical pronunciations. In this mundane moment, she sees a version of James she never knew existed, one that might have been there all along, buried under years of control and fear of vulnerability. Her phone buzzes, a text from Nathan checking on Oliver's recovery. She responds briefly, aware of James noticing but saying nothing. They're all learning new boundaries, new ways of being around each other. As the afternoon winds down, Oliver has fallen asleep in James's arms while Emma explains her latest numerical discovery. Madison begins gathering their things, but James hesitates. "I know this isn't my place," he says quietly, careful not to wake Oliver, "but I'd like to set up a college fund for them. No strings attached. You'll have full control. I've missed so much. Let me do this one thing." Madison studies him, the way he holds Oliver so gently, how he's really listening to Emma's mathematical ramblings, the complete absence of his usual need to dominate the situation. "Okay," she says finally. "But it goes through my lawyer." "And James?" He looks up at her. "Thank you for today. For trying it my way." He nods, understanding the gift she's giving him, the chance to be part of their lives without controlling them. 2 months have passed since the museum visit. Madison stands in her Portland kitchen, watching through the window as James helps the twins build an elaborate block city in the backyard. They've fallen into a rhythm none of them expected. James flies in every other weekend, stays at a nearby hotel, and spends his days immersed in his children's world. Today, Oliver wears the small hard hat James bought him, directing the placement of each block with his father's precise attention to detail, while Emma calculates the ideal angles for their architectural masterpiece. The scene before her still feels dreamlike. James Reynolds, the man who once demanded control of every aspect of her life, now sits cross-legged in the grass, letting their children teach him about their world instead of imposing his upon them. Her phone chimes with a text from Nathan, "Still on for the kids' checkup tomorrow?" She responds affirmatively, aware of the careful distance he's maintained since James entered their lives. Sometimes she catches him watching her with questions in his eyes, but he never asks them, never pushes for more than she's ready to give. Rachel joins her at the window, coffee in hand. "You know," she says thoughtfully, "when you first told me James was going to be part of their lives, I thought you were crazy. But look at him out there. That's not the same man you ran from." Madison nods, remembering the day James handed her full control of the children's college fund, how he asked permission before buying them gifts, how he rearranged board meetings around Oliver's t-ball games and Emma's math club. The man who once tracked her movements now texts before every visit, always asking, never assuming. Outside, Emma's voice carries through the open window, "Daddy, you're calculating the shadow angles wrong." The word daddy still feels new. The twins started using it last week, testing it out like a new mathematical formula. James had turned away, but Madison saw the tears he tried to hide. Now he sits with Emma, learning her way of seeing the world through numbers, while Oliver adds more towers to their cityscape. The boy's recent pneumonia left him with a slight cough, and Madison notices how James subtly monitors his son's breathing, the same way she does. A delivery truck pulls up, and James excuses himself to sign for a package. Inside are 2 carefully wrapped presents. Oliver's elephant has been looking worn, and Emma's calculator is held together with tape. The new ones are identical to the old, a thoughtful touch that shows James understands the comfort of familiar things. But he doesn't give them to the twins right away. Instead, he brings them to Madison. "If you think it's okay," he says, the man who once gave orders now asking permission. "I noticed at last weekend's visit." Their conversation is interrupted by Oliver's cough. James's hands tighten on the package, but he doesn't move until Madison nods. They've learned this dance, how to share concern without overwhelming, how to be parents together without being together. Outside, the twins have abandoned their block city to chase butterflies, their laughter carrying on the summer breeze. "I never knew it could be like this," James admits quietly. "All those years building towers, and I never understood what really matters." Rachel slips away, leaving them watching their children through the window. "The Portland office wants to make my position permanent," Madison says finally. "No more quarterly trips to New York." She expects James to protest, to assert his rights as their father, to demand they move closer. Instead, he surprises her. Then I'll open a West Coast division. Spend more time here. He pauses, choosing his words carefully. Not to control anything. Just to be close. To watch them grow. Madison studies him, the man who once tried to own her now learning to simply belong. 1 year later, Madison stands in the doorway of Reynolds Industries' new Portland office, watching James help Emma with her math homework while Oliver builds a block tower in the corner of the executive suite. The space is different from his New York office, warmer, with children's artwork on the walls and a play area visible through the glass partition. The man behind the desk is different too. The hard edges that once defined James Reynolds have softened, replaced by laugh lines and a patient smile as he helps their daughter work through complex problems. The twins have just turned 5, and their birthday party yesterday was a testament to how much has changed. In the backyard of Madison's home, their home, as she never did move, James worked the grill while Nathan helped set up games. Rachel and Patricia flew in from New York, and Beth closed the daily grind early so the staff could attend. The strange family they've built somehow works, held together not by golden cages or legal documents, but by choice and growth and love. Oliver's latest tower falls, blocks scattering across the floor. Once, James would have rushed to fix it, to control the chaos. Instead, he watches as his son methodically begins rebuilding, stronger this time. Remember what we learned about foundation? James asks gently. Oliver nods, placing the blocks with careful consideration. Emma looks up from her homework to offer mathematical advice about load-bearing calculations, and Madison's heart swells at their easy interaction. A photo on James's desk catches her eye, the one from the museum a year ago, their first family picture. Beside it stands a newer one from the twins' birthday, showing how much they've all grown. Not just in size, but in understanding. James catches her looking and meets her gaze. The man who once tried to buy her love now understands its true value. The woman who once ran from his control now trusts him with their children's hearts. Nathan appears in the doorway behind Madison, right on time to take the twins to their checkup. Over the past year, he and James have developed a respectful understanding, both men putting the children's well-being above any personal feelings. The twins gather their things, hugging James goodbye with easy affection. See you this weekend, Daddy? Oliver asks. Promise, James replies, the word carrying the weight of all his kept promises over the past year. As the twins leave with Nathan, Madison lingers. I never thought we'd be here, she admits. A year ago, I was ready to run again. James nods, understanding. A year ago, I would have given you reason to. He looks around his office, at the building blocks scattered across expensive carpet, at the childish drawings hanging alongside corporate awards. I spent my life building towers of steel and glass, thinking they made me powerful. But real strength? He picks up a fallen block, turning it in his hands. Real strength is learning to let go. To love without owning. To build something together instead of trying to control it alone. Madison touches the small gold necklace she still wears, the one with O and E engraved on it. The twins asked me yesterday why we don't live together like their friends' parents. James stills, waiting. I told them that sometimes love looks different for different families. That sometimes it's stronger because people choose it every day, not because they're trapped in it. Through the window, they watch Nathan help the twins into his car, the children waving goodbye. Their reflection in the glass shows two people who have learned life's hardest lessons, that love isn't possession, that growth requires letting go, that the strongest bonds are built on freedom, not fear. The towers of Manhattan rise in a photo on the wall, but they seem less important now, overshadowed by the small block tower Oliver left standing in the corner, imperfect, maybe, but built with love and understanding. Some cages are made of gold, Madison says softly, remembering her mother's words. But some towers, she looks at Oliver's creation, are built of something stronger. James follows her gaze, seeing not the crude block structure, but the foundation of trust they've all built together. In the end, the moral is simple but profound: true love doesn't cage, it sets free. Real strength isn't found in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. And sometimes, the family you choose to build day by day is stronger than any tower of steel and glass could ever be.